Hi, have a nice lunch. I'm afraid this won't be good for your digestion. I want to talk to you about the taxes that Obama is proposing to pay for this jobs program of his. You know, he gave a wonderful speech and all about these jobs and all the wonderful things he's going to do. Never mentioned a dollar figure, just said this will be paid for. Well, earlier this week he came out with something that explains how he's going to pay for it, and it's going to come right out of your pocket. Some of it directly out of your pocket, others indirectly because of the effect it'll have on the economy. But let's start with the goodies in the package. He proposed cutting the payroll tax in half. Now, the word payroll tax is a euphemism. It's Social Security tax. So this system that is on the verge of bankruptcy, he wants to cut its revenues by half. Right now it gets 12.4% is the combined tax of employers and employees. He wants to cut it from 12.4 to 6.2. And he swears that the money will be made up as a result of general fund transfers to the Social Security Fund. Come on, we've heard that before. And let's remember that for the last umpteen years, the money's flowed the other way, with the feds borrowing the money from Social Security and leaving an IOU in an empty vault. It is irresponsible to do that. It endangers the future of Social Security. And Republicans and Democrats need to make the case, hands off Social Security revenues. Somehow this phrase, payroll taxes. They're not. They're Social Security taxes, and if you cut it, you're endangering Social Security. Now, the other elements are how he's going to pay for this program. And what he's going to do is he's going to take individuals who make $200 or more, families who make $250 or more, and he's going to cut way back on their ability to make deductions, perhaps eliminate them entirely. So mortgage interest deductions, charitable deductions, state and local tax deductions will be gone or will be vastly reduced. So think of the effect of each of those. Start with mortgage interest. First of all, you have so many people who live in homes that they can't afford now, and they're facing foreclosure, they're falling behind on their mortgages. What is it going to do to tell them you can't deduct it? You used to think that the feds would pay a third of your mortgage by paying a third by your being able to deduct it and not paying that in taxes. No more. You have a $2,000 a month mortgage. You thought the feds would pay $650 of it. You're now going to pay all $2,000. When so many families are unable to afford the homes they live in, it's terrible. And they bought the homes figuring on this deduction, and now you're switching the rules on them in the middle of the game. And then think of the effect on the economy. The economy cannot recover without the real estate industry recovering and the home building industry recovering. And people who make more than $250 as a family or $200 as an individual account for over a third of the real estate transactions in dollar terms in the United States. So that means a third less home building, a third less construction jobs. So Obama has this great program to do construction jobs, building public works, but then he's going to kill every one of those jobs by eliminating the tax deduction for mortgage interest. It makes absolutely no sense. Totally contradictory policies. And then charitable donations. Here we have a president who's a bleeding heart, increasing cash transfers. Number of people on food stamps now is up to 45 million people. He's taken huge swaths of the American economy off the work roll and on to government dependency. But not private dependency, not charity. If you donate money to charity, you won't be able to deduct it if you have any significant income, and that's where the vast bulk of charitable contributions come. It is a deliberate effort to bankrupt the voluntary sector so that the only place you can go is government. And then you have to vote for the liberals because they have your life in their hands, because we've wiped out the charitable sector, including churches, I might add. And then state and local tax deductions. I mean, Texas is doing great because it has no income tax. And California is struggling because it has a high income tax. Now, what happens if those taxpayers in California have to pay the entire income tax as opposed to deducting it and getting a third of it paid by Washington? It basically means that those states will never recover, that those tax burdens will absolutely destroy those states. So Obama's program is just awful. And I think that it's going to be very hard for Democrats from places like New York and California to vote for that bill because of the effect on their own tax deductions. So this program, it's typical Barack Obama. The micro, oh, he's providing jobs by building this road and this dam, and he's going to cut the payroll tax a bit, and that's going to put more money in your pocket. But then he's destroying the voluntary sector. He's destroying the home building industry. He's making the tax burden insufferable in most of the northeastern and far western states. And he's endangering Social Security. The macro programs completely jam the micro. Why? Because the one thing he won't do is cut government spending. He wants every dime of these goodies he's passing out to be paid for by new tax revenues. He won't cut spending. It's in his nature. He just won't do it. And therefore, his taxes are vitiating the effect of his program. Only hope it doesn't pass. Well, thanks for watching. We'll chat tomorrow, and have a nice lunch.